progress.
All right, can you guys see me? Well, I'll just turn this off. Okay. All right, now can you see me? All right, I, for some reason, cannot see anybody. I'm not sure what's going on, but see if I can change it around a little bit. All right, I can't see anybody. I can see you on my little computer, but I can't see you on my big computer. So I know people are out there. Can somebody say something so I can see if I can hear?
Estongo, Joy Hayadega.
Ah, Estongo. It's Jay. But no, I can hear you guys. So I feel pretty good. And one of the things we noticed about Smartboard is sometimes it does fine on some profiles and then it starts getting a little wonky on others. Sometimes it's just the day. I don't know what's going on, but all right, Desray, all right, I will be showing you. I'm showing you guys right now. Like I said, there's a lot of things going on in the Mvskoke language department, and this is one of them. The new Facebook address. I want you guys to see it because I know I have been giving out like links and stuff, and I went on Facebook again today and was looking at links, and I seen this. They're trying to make everything in one area. And I think part of it is they renamed it Mvskoke language. And when they started out, you know, Facebook and all of this Instagram and TikTok and everything is really new to a lot of people. And I think it was new to the Mvskoke language program when they started this. So they changed the name. So it's Mvskoke language in the Facebook now. And like I said, we're getting a website. It's actually being being done right now. It's in the works, and we're trying to edit everything so it'll be all right there, inclusive for you guys. There's YouTube page for the elders speaking stories, and then there's a YouTube page for the Mvhayv's teaching. Everything is online. There's the Facebook, Instagram, and they said TikTok, but I haven't seen. I haven't gotten on any TikTok. I had to create an account just to get on Instagram for the language program because I'm not in TikTok or not TikTok. I'm sorry, Instagram. I'm not on Instagram at all. So I had to create an Instagram just for that. And I know a lot of you guys are in the same boat as me. It's like all this new stuff, and we just have to keep going forward. And I know with COVID, a lot of things were online, and a lot of things are available that were not available, such as talking to your doctor about things online. So there's you know, I'm not going to say anything's good about COVID, but things that happened because of COVID, where a lot of things are online, social media. I was able to get my degree online from College of Mvskoke Nation. And they have the language degree there. That's what I've got, a certificate. I also was able to attend some of the other classes online. And we're trying to make everything online that we have, all of the social media in one area, in one place. And we're trying to just reorganize everything. But I wanted you guys to see this, that the Facebook address is changing. And I'm pretty sure that they're going to move all of the videos to the new Facebook. If not, there's going to be some kind of connection there. I'm not familiar with it, so I'm just telling you what I think is going to happen. If it doesn't happen, don't sue me. I don't have any money. I'm a teacher. All right. Okay. So with that behind everybody, does anybody have any questions or anything they want to add to the classroom that we have started on not doing things? I know that there are some of us who are at different levels at our Mvskoke language learning. So I wanted to just occasionally go back to the basics of the sounds and refresh our memory, because I know that a lot of us, just like the example, totally, wind, there's no O sound in Muskogee, but your brain, since, you've got a lot going in there, I know we're over, the majority of us are over 18. So we've got a lot of English in there. So the word totally is really not a correct pronunciation. Totally. You got the totally. So little things like that. And one of the things that I was talking to Mvhayv Barnett this morning or yesterday about is the ooh, the sounds in the Mvskoke language. And she was telling me even, she's a first speaker. Even our speakers, have to go back and revert to going back to the basics of alphabet and everything. So if you have to do that, that's not an issue. I would rather you have the secret ingredient to Mvskoke language than to not have it, not fully embrace or have the energy and the power and the spiciness of our language. All right, I'm going to try to see if this works. I have some links that I have put in the Google Drive. And I just wanted to go over some of these with you. And you see there's the alphabet there. I looked on Facebook and they had alphabet, I think it was 2018. And it was a pretty good breakdown for going over and refreshing. So let me see if one of them starts, see if we can get it to start. That's kind of weird. I just now was on Facebook and there you see it is. So I'm not sure exactly why I am blocked from, because I know I shared Facebook with you guys before, but it is on the Google Drive. I do have some links here for you guys to try and see if that helps you out in any of your learning. Let me see. That's kind of weird. All right, Facebook. All right, so these are some of the quotes and things that are there. This is the old one. Remember that we're getting ready to move over to the new one. Here's the videos. Oh, come on. Okay. All right, I guess I broke Facebook, at least on my end. Okay, but like I said, it's on the Google Drive. And let's see if I can get this for you. Copy. Chat. And that should be the Google Drive address. So it's got the Facebook links there. Since we can't see it right now on screen, I just kind of rushingly named them like action words, infinitive words. These are all the first speakers speaking it. So you can hear the difference in how we're starting out a little choppy. We get a little bit better. And then, we eventually want to sound like a first speaker. But here's the action words infinitive. There's the brown bear story, which I'm going to use for my grandchild. And it's in Mvskoke. So I enjoyed looking at that. And the clans, it's got the clans there as well. And then the alphabet A through K, and then the alphabet L through Y. When you get a chance, just go over there and just pop on there and see what I'm talking about. All right. Hold on. So right here, since we're going pretty fast, anytime you speak to somebody, anytime you communicate, you're going to have a vocabulary. So I thought I'd go ahead and put some more vocabulary words on there. And I broke it down for those of us who are still, not to quite reading level yet. So close. Achaki, close. And I'll make it look prettier, but like I said, I just was rushing through this trying to figure out what we were going to talk about. I know we're conjugating, but we're going so fast because module 1, module 2, first person, second person, we've learned to conjugate all that. And since the only thing that changes is the person marker, we got to find out what to talk about. So we've got people in our vocabulary that we can talk about. We've got foods from module 1. the native foods and some not native foods. So we've got kitchen items to talk about. And so I thought, okay, if we're talking about, we've got people, we can now talk about clothes. Now, I'm just trying to get everything lined up so we can make bigger, robust sentences. Right now, we're doing simple sentences. So we're kind of around, we're farther than see spot run spot run. We're farther than that because we can conjugate. But you know, we're still at the beginning of our learning. And I know I've picked up a lot of people who are just beginning to learn our Mvskoke through some of the community events. We're trying to get more and more people to learn and to start. And I'm here to show you and try to help you along a little easier than I had it. All right, okay. Dress, hona. You see the hona. I have it broken down. Hona. And the shirt. Iyo kofkera. Shirt. And I ask you when I say these, and I know that you can mute or you can unmute, but you know, just say them so your mouth will get used to saying Mvskoke words. And I know some of these are hard and long. That's why I put them in the syllable. Iyo kofkera, shirt.
Iyo kofkera.
Yes. And then gaba, coat.
Gaba.
And then pants, harikbega.
Harikbega.
Gloves. Ingi hoodie.
Iskingi hoodie.
And then hat is kotoboga. And just like I know that Mvhayv Barnett, we were sitting here, I was listening to her teach yesterday. We all kind of get caught up a little bit. So, you know, that's not a problem. Like I said, nobody's going to be perfect. Nobody's going to be perfect. All right. And then for boots, sohtitka. Yes. Estilabega. Shoes. Estelibega. Okay. And socks. Sahojachka. Yes. Sahojachka. And then belt. Siwenageta. All right, Mado, good job. Good job. Does me breaking it down in the syllables, does that help?
Yes.
All right,
Yes.
Mado. All right, and like I said, when I do things, I let you guys know that, you know, I'm still learning too, so I don't sound as smooth as I would like to be. I will put this on a PowerPoint, and I will put some of the first speakers speaking this so you can hear how we should be pronouncing things. But right now, like I said, I was just rushing through trying to make sure that we had everything we needed in the correct Google Drive. Google's been a little bit goofy too. So anybody who works at computers, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But this is our new vocabulary words. So when we make our sentences, we're going to have more of the vocabulary to talk about. You know, the teacher is buying a dress. So we can make our sentences longer and we can add on. We also went through colors. The teacher is buying a red dress. We can make that sentence now. And then we went through numbers in module 1. And I think I did put it in week 1 of module 2. A lot of the I think all of the vocabulary we went through on module 1. That's there in module 2, the first class, because I was refreshing everything. Because some of us joined in a little bit later, so I didn't want anybody to feel left out. All right, so we have new vocabulary words we were able to incorporate into our sentences. And even if you don't make these sentences or you don't take the time to write the sentences out, you will know what these mean, because just go over them and you listen to them. And you'll hear some of the speakers talking about some things and you're like, oh, they're talking about gloves. Oh, they're talking about shoes, so, learning a language is just a little step at a time. And vocabulary is part of that way to get to know the language and to speak the language. So now we know some of the clothes. There's more clothes, but I try to give it to you a little bit at a time. Does anybody have any questions? Does that make sense? Go ahead.
I have a question, but it's not on a vocab. Is it okay to ask that now, or is there a better time?
Anytime you guys have a question, just throw it out.
Okay. I was doing the form to do the homework and stuff, which is so super cool. First of all, thank you for the hard work everybody does, and I can tell massive. But I had a question, and you may have gone over this, but when I got to the one step, oh, I know you can't. I'm trying to show you, and I just realized I can't. You can't see me.
Right. I can't see that. Yeah.
Akotosh, for some reason, I don't know why I was having a hard time with that V being there. Is that I'm not saying it right, I guess, but
second person. And
yes.
Which infinitive are you looking at?
Yeta. Well, that's probably. I was doing. No, I was adding a different one, just because I tried to add one from the book just to. Let's do when we were just sitting. Oh, a bunny skeet gotosh. You are not dancing. A bun.
Okay. Okay. All right. So let's see. Let's do it on the board here. Let's see if I can. Oh, like I said, I'm trying to figure out how to do this. O-P. Okay. U-V. And that was to dance. Okay. So you drop your ETV. So it's O-P-U-V-N, open. You drop the ETV. And so here's your verb stem again. There's no L grading, so you put and you add your it's. Right. And then you just, like I said, drop it down. Feel like I'm doing math.
Right. Long division.
Right. Then there's your E, because the K is not a vowel. So that's where you get that from. Let's see if I can, I don't know if it'll let me push it up. No. Here. There's my drawings. All right, let's see if I can push them. I know once you get into annotate, it starts getting a little cranky as well. Let's see if I can get out of there. Now push it up. Okay. And then you got your eco right there. So it's okay, so that's where we're at now. You just drop that down. Then you add your os. All right, so that's where we should be. All right.
Yes.
Okay, so that's what we're talking about. And of course you just drop that down. But
okay.
What was the question?
The V right there. What is the V?
This.
Yes, ma'am.
That's part of the infinitive verb.
No, the typed part. So bunny.
Oh, this one. I did say that since we were doing second person, it should be it's.
Oh, okay. Thank you. You know what? Now that you say that, I remember you saying that, and I kept going. It's me in my head. Okay, I didn't mean to point out that, but thank you.
Because when I'm teaching, I always let me write that down. I always try to take notes on what I needed to do, and sometimes get through everything that we're doing. I forgot to, so that's the template that I'm talking about. But, with everything that we're doing, sometimes, if you don't write it down, template.
Definitely. Totally understand. And thank you for, because I kept going on and I'm like, boy, I'm sure not listening. So, Mvhayv.
I'm just trying to keep you on your toes. But, okay, yeah, yes, I need to change that one, and it should be it's, because we are talking about the second person. And I had just written over the first person to keep all the colors and everything the same. That's what happened. All right, so it wasn't you. It was a faux pas. All right. Let's see if I can annotate and clear that. So those of you who have tried this, just remember that should be it. I will update it. I did put a note on here to update the template in Google Drive. It's not there yet, but, and then see right here, it is correct down there, but it's not correct up at the top. So it's got the second person on this one. But I will change that later today when I get a chance. But thank you for bringing that to attention. If you guys don't let me know, sometimes I don't know I misspelled something or forgot to add something. So, Mvhayv. All right. What was I gonna? Yeah, so we've got new vocabulary words. Then let's see, copy of the template. This is the first person. I also put first person back on our Google Drive. So you can go through and just refresh yourself with first person. And you see right here, it's got the right there. So that is first person. Just go through all of the infinitive verbs that we have right now and just conjugate it and figure out how to do it. And then once you start doing that, you're not going to need the templates. It's just going to automatically start flowing through your mind and you're like, oh, okay. And that was cool for me today when I was making the sentences today, is I didn't have to go through all this because I remembered the steps and I remembered the rules. And but it's taken me a little while too. All right, let's see. Okay, yes, you guys can see that. Ako panera, to play. So this is the one that I did change. It used to say to eat because I was using homeda, but ako panera, to play. And like I said, I'm just gonna refresh and go over things, and the more you go over it, the more you remember it. So I know it seems really monotonous and really, we already went over that kind of thing, but to go over it each time we have a class, at least part of it, it'll help refresh your memory. And when I was learning all of this stuff, we were going into class every day for an hour. So we don't have that time with you guys on a daily basis. So like I said, I like to refresh. Ako panera, this is second person. And like I said, the only thing that changes, if you look at your steps, the only thing that changes is the person marker. So you drop your ETV, you get your verb stem, there's no L grading, and then you add your person marker. Since this week we're talking about you, it's, that's why we add it's. For first person would be ako pana, and then go, yeah, ako pana ko os. That would be for first person. All right, so since we're using second person, ako pan it's. You add your negation, ego. Ako panitski, ako panitskyo, ego. And then you add your T for the subject marker T. Ako panitski kot. And then you add your os. And that's a lot. I guess I could break it down, but if you need to, when you print out your printouts, just use a little the slash mark to mark your syllables to help you break it down, or you can just write on either side of the word, just your notes. That's why I kind of leave a lot of space in here, is to write your notes. That's what I had to do, is just write my notes. And funny thing is when I was trying to read some of these, I would have to phonetically spell it out in English. So my brain would see how it was supposed to be said in English for my mouth to speak Muskogee. It was kind of a little trick I had to do for my, and this is just for me. If that works for you, that's great. But this is something that I had to do like jaw, C-A, jaw, or you can say G-A, jaw. But for that sound, and I would see it and I knew how it was supposed to be pronounced, jaw, C-A, jaw. My mind would say something else. It would say K or, you know, English terms. But for a while there, I had to do phonetically. Underneath jaw, I would have to put in parentheses J-A-W, jaw, because that was the same sound. My mind seemed jaw, G-A, and my mind seen how it was supposed to be pronounced, but in the English terms, J-A-W, and then my mouth could say jaw. So that was something weird that I think a lot of us who have learned English, you have to kind of trick your mind and your mouth to say Muskogee words, because to us it's not easy. It's not easy. And so when I was teaching in 2021, because I was going through College of Muskogee Nation, they made me teach a class. When I was teaching, I didn't want anybody to see my notes because I was teaching the class. And sometimes people didn't have a handout from the previous week. So they took a picture, and one of them actually took a picture of the one with all my English pronunciations on there. And I was like, oh my gosh, he knows my secret. I don't know how to say this, but now, you know, a couple years later, it's not an issue. I have more confidence in my mouth and my brain connection, because it takes a while. And that was 2021. This is 2023, and I've got it now. So that just goes to show you the time it takes for practicing and understanding and doing things and tricking your brain into speaking Muskogee, because your brain and your mouth will sometimes have that fight where it's like, okay, I know how it's supposed to sound in my head, but my mouth will not say it. Like I said, if these little notes and pointers that I give to you guys help, write it down. If you have any questions later on, I can actually make a paper to show you what I was talking about. But like I said, C or G-A-C-A, jaw. And my mouth would not say that. So I had to put J-A-W, jaw. And then after a while, my mouth is like, okay, switch to Muskogee brain, and it would start pronouncing these things easier. And I think that some of these things that I went through, you guys may be going through or will go through when you start getting a little longer, you know, further along in your language journey. So, like I said, if you have any questions, ask me, because I had to go through these struggles. So I know that some of you guys are going through the same struggles. It's not easy, but don't stop. Don't stop. If you have to take a break, but come back and relearn. And then just keep going forward. And sometimes after a few times of stopping and stuff and getting your energy back, because I know sometimes when I went to school, I felt defeated. I was like, oh my gosh. And I would tell my husband, I have no idea what I just learned. I'm just done. I'm done. And he'd look at me and just like, really? So I'd go eat, relax, come back, sit there and look at my notes. Sometimes it would sink in then, but the part that I hated the most was when we go over these things, it's your mind is remembering, your mind is awesome. And the thing that I hated though, at 2 a.m, I'm asleep, and all of a sudden I sat up, oh my gosh, it hit me then. I don't know, your mind's resting, I mean, your body's resting, so your mind's going, you know, sometimes when you're asleep. So it'll come to you, it will come to you. So Akopanitsky Goros is the final word, Muskogee word. Right here, you've got your verb stem, you've got your it's your person marker. You add your ko or iko. You got your subject marker right there. You add your os, am, are, is, Akopanitsky Goros. That's a mouthful. If you can't quite say it yet, like I said, right here at the end, Write it down, write it in syllables, write how you can remember how to pronounce it. Akopanitsky kodos. And like I said, some people say Akopanitsky kodos. So either way is good. All right. Yes, I can really appreciate your transparency, but oh, yeah, I'm trying to. In a lot of things I do, and even in the military, we had to do a plan, a step-by-step plan on how we do everything or how we did everything. And we put it in a continuity binder. So if I was out sick, Mvhayv Barnett could come in and just say, oh, okay, this is where she's at, or this is how to process things. And I think that carried over to my civilian life as well, is I try to break everything down as easy as possible, make it as simple as possible, because I've already had those struggles. I've already been there and pulling my hair and going, what the heck did I just learn? Because it's a lot. It's a lot. And then trying to learn a language at an older, being older, you've got so many years of English that you have to overcome. And English is fighting, like I said, I hear people say, totally. And that's one of the main examples, totally. And I was like, there's no O sound. And then, but I don't correct them. I know what they're talking about. And, but I was talking to some of the first speakers and it's totally. Oh, totally. So, totally. All right. And I know that sometimes I talk to Mvhayv, the other Mvhayvs, and they would tell me some of their some of the words that come up a lot. It's got the and the and the ah. So you got to know what the difference is on those. And sometimes we sit there and we're talking, and it's we have to sit there and figure it out ourselves, because it's like, okay, is this how it's supposed to sound? Is that how it's supposed to sound? And like I said, it goes back to either or either. On how it's pronounced. Okay, I wanted to replay this because this was some of our vocabulary words in module 1. And you've seen the other day I used some of these words in my sentences. So I wanted to go over this again. Like I said, more vocabulary words, the more vocabulary you have, the better we can communicate, because you know what you're trying to say to me in Mvskoke. And you hear some of those people, and while you're learning, you can put, and I hear this a lot, people say some things in Mvskoke and then they switch to English because they don't know the words yet for Mvskoke. And that's perfectly fine. I think anytime somebody says this Mvskoke word, it's a win. It's like, woo. All right. Okay. And the first one, Mvskoke and Mvskoke and Mvskoke foods. So these are more of our native foods. The first one is Olsofki or Sofki. You hear it pronounced both ways, Olsofki or Sofki. And number 2 is Abuski, parched corn drink. And I will play it with, and hopefully it works, because I did attach the audio. I will play it with the speakers so you can say it after them, as well as, you can say it after me as well. Abuski nitka, corn soup. Bufko ofki, grape dumplings. Doklek sakmoski, fry bread. Sukanipki, pork and hominy. Chadahaga, ground blue bread.
Chadahaga.
Ground blue bread, yes. Tafumboji, wild onions.
Tafumboji.
Yes.
Wild onions.
All right, so let me go ahead and play the slideshow. Hopefully everything goes well.
Osofki.
Can you guys hear that?
Oshafki.
Abuski.
Abashki.
Abuskiniska.
Abashkinitka.
Patko afki.
Patko afki.
Duck Lake Sakmulki.
Taklek Shakmolski.
Konipki.
Shakkonipki.
Jadahaga.
Jadahaga.
Dafambuji.
Dafambuji.
All right, good job. So that's how to pronounce the vocabulary we've already gone over. And like I said, I wanted to share that with you guys since I know I used it in some of the sentences the other day. Okay. Yes, this is the not cooking, right. Okay, so you can add this to our infinitive verbs because I didn't put that on either of our infinitive verbs, but it's to cook. No te jida. So the Mvskoke translation of conjugating no te jida is no te jitski, no te it's equal os, no te jitski quote os, or no te jis. No, it's equal dos. All right. I know that's a mouthful, and if you don't practice this all the time, you know how to say it, but like I said, your mouth is kind of lingering behind. So you will catch me a couple of times doing this. No, te jitski quote os. All right, to cook or to not cook. So the literal translation of no te jitski quote os is cooking you not are. So that's I know I've said this before, but if you look at the literal translation of our Mvskoke to English, it's Yoda speech. It's how Yoda would talk. So I think that's cool, you know, Mvskoke Yoda. And like I said, I've told people I've got a picture of Yoda on my wall, and he is dressed up in native regalia with 2 ball sticks. But every time I see about the literal translation, I always think of Yoda. Okay, the English translation is you are not cooking. You're not cooking. And their sentences, and like I said, these are simple sentences. They're object verb because we're talking about something. And one thing that Mvhayv Eli had said in her class is the verb always comes last in Mvskoke sentences. And the funny thing is I have been taking Mvskoke classes for a while. It says object, verb, subject, object, verb. It never dawned on me that it always ends with the verb until the other day. So like I said, you'll get some of these aha moments where you're like, aha, I understand what she said, or aha, I've been looking at it the whole time and just realized that verb is the last in the Mvskoke sentences. So I thought that was kind of noteworthy for myself. Okay, so we've got patko, afki, no te jitski, quote, os. You are not cooking grape dumplings. And then taklek sakmoski, no jitske, quote, os. You are not cooking fry bread. So that's what I wanted to share with you guys again today, our previous vocabulary words. When you look at this by itself, you're like, oh my gosh, especially those of us who are starting our language journey, you're just like, there's no way I can, you know, because those of us who've been in the language a little bit longer, it's like, okay, just got to break it down. But I remember looking at this and I'm like, there's no way. But just keep going, keep trying, make your little slash marks for your different syllables. Because in module 1, we did the 2-letter syllable sounds and the 3-letter syllable sounds. And that's all these are. It's just put in different areas. So for those of you who did module 1, you've already said all of these sounds. Now putting it together, sometimes it changes some of the sounds. Like I know on some of the words, the H has the instead of a he sound. So you just got to know what these sound like. So that's why I try to bombard you guys with vocabulary words. And tafamboji no te jitska, not tafamboji no te jitski quote os. I get to, like I said, I get a little bit fast and I'm told to slow down a little bit because sometimes I got to take a running start and I don't stop and I just power through it and then it's not right. So then I got to take a running start and then slowly go through it. All right, so you are not cooking wild onions. Sakpanipki, notejitski kot os. You are not cooking pork and hominy. All right, got a question. When is Eli's class? Eli's class is, I'm trying to think, Tuesdays and Wednesdays, 1:30 to 3 o'clock. I'm not sure what her class number is. I don't have it in front of me, but it should be on our social media. And if you call up to the office, they will be able to give you her meeting number. I know she teaches a little different, and I sat there and spoke with her about some of the things, and we were talking, and Mvhayv Barnett says this all the time, is there's more than one way to teach Mvskoke. We all learned different ways. The Mvhayvs, the majority of them have learned growing up. I know Mvhayv Eli and myself did not. Mine is more academic, and I think she has she had gone through some of the language camps that they have here at the Creek Nation. So she's doing really good. But you know, like I said, we've got a lot of different ways to do the same thing. And even then, the ways that we teach, I'm sure there are other ways that we don't know of yet that people have been taught Mvskoke. All right. So these are the infinitives that we've had from module 1 and module 2. It's a mixture of both. And these are just an example of some of the sentences that can be done. Like I said, we are doing really simple sentences. We can get further along. And like I said, and somebody did bring up, you know, we had to think about verbs, adverbs, nouns, and all these English terms to learn some of the sentence structure. Well, now there's some people who get confused by that, but like I said, this is the way I learned. And one of the conversations I had with the speakers is that's not the only way. Sometimes the Mvskoke language does not follow the rules or certain always follow the same sentence structures. So just to let you know that this is one way, this is only a small part of the big picture. So learn this way, learn Eli's way, learn Mvhayv Barnett's way, and then you'll have a big, robust idea of just a little part of our Mvskoke language. All right, so Withada, to stand, Ayada, to make, Hijira, to see, Daskida, to jump, Nojida, to sleep, Yukabida, to walk, Legida, to sit, Litkida, to run. All right, and I just made a few sentences. Okay, Amy put Eli's class in. All right. Okay, so did anybody have any, did you guys try to conjugate or make any simple sentences? If you did, can you just type it in the chat? Or you can say it, you can unmute and say it. Because I know to learn something new, different people have to study and do different things to remember for however they learn. And I know I had to write everything down and I had to say everything. And then I had to color code everything. So, all right. Does anybody have a example they wanted to share?
Ako panitski tos. Wait. Ako panitski kotos.
Yes. Okay.
Daski kotos.
Okay. Good job.
And we went over the "you are not dancing" one already.
Right.
And then the one I was saying earlier was one I just picked from the book. Apel hoyitski kotos. You are not laughing.
You are not laughing. All right. But no, you did good. You did good. Well, thank you for sharing that with us. I know, like I said, for me to fully understand and embrace the reading, the writing, and even the saying, I had to do all three. And then I had to add color or sometimes pictures to it, just to help me remember. And if that helps you, then do it that way. But, I think if you sit there and conjugate with the templates, then you'll be able to smoothly transition to not only having to see it to go the steps to write it, but you'll remember when they're talking or you're hearing the speakers talk, you're like, oh, I remember that. So that's why we try to reinforce with writing, saying, and seeing, and spelling. All right. Okay, so, and one of the things I put here is litkeda, to run. So when I was looking at the dictionary, and I know this has been said before, litkeda, to run, is of one. It's just one person running. Tukoskeda, I think that's supposed to be E. Tukoskeda, to run, of two or more. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's supposed to be E. Tukoskeda, to run for two or more. Befatkeda, to run three or more. Befatkeda, to run three or more. So when I was talking to Mvhayv Barnett, you can say, I think you can say litkeda. No. Okay, this is what we were talking about. We were talking about cups, like when you're measuring for, I was doing patko afki, I was doing the grape dumpling recipe. And I said, how do you say 1 cup, half a cup, a quarter cup? And so we were looking it up in the dictionary, and all I seen is cups. There wasn't measuring cups. There wasn't a word for measuring cups. So I was like, well, how do I say this for word of the day? And she's like, well, what does it say? I said, it needs 1 cup of flour. She goes, put the word for flour and put humgin, 1 cup. I was like, well, that's so simple, but that's correct. And then we had to look up for half a cup, and then it changes. So it was like, oh my gosh, all of these words. But I just wanted to show you that, there are some words that, for it just means 1 person. Then you change it for 2 people. And you change it for 3 or more. So that's why I like Hadam Tihichal, please. You're talking about I'll see you again. And that's supposed to be to 1 person. And Hadam Tihichakah, please, is to everybody. I will see you again. And I had to learn that. I learned that this year, so I feel good. All right. Okay, the sentence structure is the subject verb. That's the sentence structure that I'm showing you. Istiwanaya Mvhayv os. Policeman, you are not running. And I was talking also to Mvhayv Barnett about the second person conjugating it. And she's like, well, it's really not needed because you don't sit there and tell a policeman, you're not running. You don't often say that, but I wanted to show you guys first, second, and third person in case it comes up. You will know that it's out there. Even if you don't use it very often, you'll know how to conjugate it and you'll know how to write it in a sentence. So, and I was thinking about that. Like policeman, you are not running. If you see some of those cop shows where, they fall off of something because they're chasing somebody and they're running and, say they're running and they hurt their leg or their knee and they already have knee injury. I'm just thinking that's when you would say, policeman, you are not running. And then like their backup would go running by, So, that's why I was thinking. So it would be used, but not very often. All right. Noteja, Hayitsky koros. Noteja, Hayitsky koros. Chef, you are not making. And that, that we are still learning sentence structures. So in this context, because it doesn't really make a lot of sense, you can still use it and conjugate it and it still be correct. But since we're learning, we know that we're going to add things later on in our sentences, like chef, you are not making fry bread. Kind of like I'm making fry bread. Chef, you're not making fry bread. I'm making fry bread. So this is where, it doesn't make sense in English, but, it can be said. And, one of the things that always comes up is situational speaking. and just regional speaking. All right. Ofachija, Ijitski Court Os. Judge, you are not seen. And I do have the PowerPoint out there on the Google Drive to practice with. And I know I practiced this morning, but you know, seeing it up here and teaching is different. But yes, you can practice these because these are our people. These are the policemen, the firemen, the farmer, the judge, the chef. And these are a lot of these are things you're not going to say very often, but you will know what they are now because Notheja, chef, you're not making. I don't think we really run into a lot of chefs, and you could also call your child a chef if they're making grilled cheese or something. Chef. All right. Dotka aslija daskets ikot os. Dotka aslija it's ikot os. Woo! You see that I'm having a little issues. Like I said, I don't say these every day. I know how it's supposed to be said, but like I said, the mind, the mouth, you know, we've got to get used to saying these stuff. And if you hear some of the Facebook that some of the first speakers are, sometimes they run into a little, kind of have to, you know, go over the speed bumps, but eventually get there. Okay. Dotka aslija taskit get task it's os. Fireman, you are not jumping. All right. Togahija nojitski os. Student, you are not sleeping. And I can see that, you know, being used today, you know, somebody's walking around and, you know, kids are supposed to be doing their homework and somebody's sleeping. Student, you are not sleeping. I can see that one actually being used probably daily somewhere. All right. Chapova adorka Yakabitsky quote os. Farmer, you are not walking. Inokolgi afasta Legitsky Kodots, os. Nurse, you are not sitting. Mahaya Legitsky os. Teacher, you are not running. All right. Like I said, I will put these into a PowerPoint and I will put the first speaker's voice to them so you can hear how it's supposed to sound. And that helps me learn as well because I go through and I refresh my verbs and my vocabulary as well. Nothagus. I am sleeping. All right.
Well, I was trying to, I am a chef.
Oh, chef. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, Nothagus. I am a chef. I am. I think it would be Nothaja, and then I am is, like I said, I'm still trying to remember everything. Does. I think it was Does. Yeah.
Does.
I am a chef. Nothaja Does.
Nothaja Does.
Does. So yeah, because I was thinking about that. I'm like, hearing the Mvhayvs teach every day and talk every day is like, I know what you're trying to say and I know how to say it. I just forgot because I'm thinking, this, that, cha, ma. So, all right, Nothaja Dois. I am a chef. All right, Mado, Amy. Does anybody have any questions? Is that starting to make sense for everybody on using the templates, on trying to use to make these sentences and trying to just go one little step at a time, And like I said, don't forget on the Google Drive, we've got on the Facebook is some action words, infinitive, brown bear. Sometimes to go forward, you have to go back. And I know on the Google Drive is also the alphabet song. If you need to refresh on your alphabet, it's Mvhayv Barnett singing, and I put it to a PowerPoint. So you can see exactly the sounds you're supposed to be making while she's singing ah, chi, e. So that's all out there. And like I said, these are the clans, and I wish these would play because I wanted to play them for you. We'll try to figure out what the heck is going on with smart or one screen. It's not having it today. And you can see that I had the Facebook and all of a sudden it was blocked. I don't know. There's something going on. But these are out there for you guys to see. The alphabet A through K, I think that was Mvhayv Gracine, that's her voice. And I think she's also doing L through Y. And I think it was Mvhayv Philip who's doing Brown Bear. I don't recall who's doing either of the other ones, but this is out there for you guys to hear and to learn from them. And if you guys have any questions, just let me know. I know Amy, I asked about beads. We were talking about beads for like word of the day. And they started talking about shells, and then we started talking about copper. So I'm trying to incorporate, and somebody did send me something I have to look at about, our jewelry and everything that, our ancestors wore and the significance. So we're going all into trying to teach also in word of the day. And I think on Facebook, the new Facebook, I think that has the words of the day. So, pop in there if you need to, just make a quick Facebook. Like I said, I've got one for my for teaching, and what I made an Instagram for teaching, just so I could be in the know and help you guys to see what you guys are seeing, because I didn't know what format Instagram went on. But do you have a question?
Is the new one up yet, or is it not until June 18th?
I think, yes, it is up. It is up right now, but I don't think they moved all the videos over yet. The ones like these links right here, if you see that has my coworker's name, Mr. Barnett. That was, I think it was started in 2018 or 2015. So, he was tasked to create a Facebook. It was all new to us. And so now to get, the person's name off of it, they've created the new one, for the Mvskoke language program. But as far as I know, they're going to move all the videos over. Things change every day, so they might just put all the videos on the new website, a link there. It's being worked, it's being reworked, and it's all trying to get all of our resources to you guys easier and faster. And we're trying to organize everything so it makes it easier to understand. Hey, I'm trying to learn grammar over here. I'm trying to learn colors. You go over here. I'm trying to learn animals. So we're trying to make it easy where you just don't have, okay, here's all the links. So, all right. Does anybody have any questions? All right. Any comments? Okay, well, it looks like we're done for the day. And like I said, when I teach on Friday, you guys are welcome to come to the Zoom class. It's Central Time, 6:30 to 7:30. And basically, I go over what we learned from the first class and the second class and the third one. I put it all together. If anybody has any questions, I also have people in the room. So sometimes they have questions. All right, but you guys are welcome to come and sit in if in case you have a question or anything that you don't think about until after this class. Write it down. Just hey, write it in, or just let me know during the class time, and we'll address your question. All right, no questions. All right, Mado, just gonna say Mado.
Mado.
And then Adam to hit your please. I'll see you guys later.